Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is for you. I'm Cyclone. This is Let's Play Train Simulator, and hope you had a wonderful holiday. Back to work transporting random digital goods to digital places. And this is one of the two scenarios we have left on Mariah's Pass. We're going to skip down, however, because I just did a trio of scenarios using the ES44DC. You probably want a break from that. I do. So we're going to go to Wood from Kalispell, the last of the three scenarios that has the EMD 1500, the SW 1500 switcher, the Burlington Northern model. So we're going to use that particular model today. That'll be our last of the three scenarios with that. I did get more information on the Harvest Grain scenario. We'll talk about that at a later time, though, because that is something that is a two-part scenario, but only the one part's probably going to work. But we'll talk about that later. In any case, Wood from Kalispell is our last switcher scenario. And then we'll have to go back and do Blackfoot or Bust to finish off the DLC, and that's going to be the plan. Now you can see the Amtrak Empire Builder is up here as well. This is something that I've had for a while. Obviously, just was not able to play the scenarios without Mariah's Pass, but they're there, so we can do those at some point as well. And of course, I have over here in the career tab, the GP38 has one of its scenarios. The ST40 has some stuff here, and there's more ST40s, the heritage ones. So those are options I can use for scenarios on the career tab as well. You can see there's a lot fewer scenarios on the career tab than there are on the standard tab. There are some that are exclusive to the standard tab. In any case, let's go ahead and do Wood from Kalispell. We are the only train in this scenario. There's no other services in this scenario. We're just going to do our own work down here, and that's it. So let's get to work, and let's start transporting some logs. See you inside the scenario. You've successfully dropped off a shipment from Whitefish, and it is now time to make the return journey. Firstly, turn your engine on the Y so you'll be heading in the correct direction. Roger, I should have been doing that as I was reading that, actually, so I'm kind of feeling stupid not for doing that now. Look up the speed fast to make up for it, shall we? That'll work. So the main first question is, are all the junctions set correctly? And the answer to the question is yes. DTG tends to like to set all the junctions correctly for the first section of the journey. And this is proof right here. That's where we're going. Then we're going to head back here. So once we get past a certain point here as well, we might be past it now. Yeah, we're definitely past it now. So I'm going to go ahead and set the junction back here to be where we need to go later on, because I know we're going to be heading in that direction. That's the way out. We have to. I'm going to click on this a couple times because the switch does not necessarily like to register when you first get up there. And we'll see if I manage to make it register by doing that. So the reason there's no other trains on this track, I mentioned earlier there's no trains in this area. You can see why. It's single track goodness. There's no other tracks to play with here, so you're just going to go on a single track. Definitely for the first few stops. I'm not sure when the track doubles out, but they didn't bother putting another train in to wait for you. Good to go down the track. So that you can see the switch ahead. I actually played that right by showing you where the switch was on the HUD, because now the switch loaded in. If we had not clicked that, sometimes it doesn't like to load. So now you can see exactly where it is, and that was the intent behind doing that. It is there on our right, just out of the screen right now. I didn't go far enough to make the stop, so let's get up there quickly, and we're going to do that. Alright, that should do it. Over to the HUD. We're now in the south area, so we can do that. We're going to set this one for the return journey, and if I can come to a stop, please, I'd like to do that. Thank you very much. Excellent. Leave the brake applied for a moment. Since there should be no one else hanging around here, I'll turn the bell off. Might not be proper to do that, but why not? So getting in the cab, we're going to look around at the back here. Great. You will have to manually set the points from here to continue turning. I figured that out. Thank you. That's fast enough for now. So you want to make sure that the junction up here is correct. It is, because the blue goes to the end of the line, so you know it's correct. We're going to go all the way to the end of the line here. Well, not all the way. We're going to stop in the middle of the siding, but theoretically, we're going to go to the end of the line. I'm going to start braking now because we're going to need to. I was worried I might be coming a little fast, but I actually might have been a little slow, so let's go ahead and take the brakes off again. Yeah, I always hit the brakes too early for this one for some reason. I'm going to go a wee bit further because it's just for security of the switch that we're going to have to hit here. Can I stop, please? Thank you. So we're going to hit that switch. Now when we leave here, we're going to be heading back out across that crossing. We're going to head up to here, and that's our go via point. We're going to couple to the cars right there. So go via and couple. Once we have that done, we're going to head up here to the Plywood place. So back out the front window. And this track out of Kalispell, it can be a challenge, so you have to be ready for possible speeding problems on this part of the track. I might plop down a save game just to be safe here. So when I leave the Y, I'm going to turn my bell on because we have the same cross we already crossed coming up again. So once I'm finished my turnaround, I will get that. As soon as I leave this curve section up ahead, we'll be finished our turnaround. Now I don't think we're going to actually have a whistle board to warn us about the crossing. We just have to know it's here because this is the end of the line basically. There we go. So we're going to skip track number 1 here. There are some cars in that siding, and that road ends. We're going to skip track number 2. That also is actually cars we're going to be picking up, but we want to connect on the other side of them. We're going to take this track to the left. We're going to skip all the other side tracks. So we've completed our exit. Your first pickup are the center beam cars in Kalispell West Yard main siding on your left. Couple them to the rear of your engine. Roger. That can be quiet. I turn the bell off for a minute while I plan. We have a stop at the switch coming up. I want to be past the switch when I stop, so we're going to try to plan the stop accordingly. This should be accordingly. Just like that. Perfect. Other direction. We're going to go back to the inside the cab view, and we're going to go backwards. Notice we did not have a stop request at that particular point either. should be good enough now. There we go. Okay, the second pickup is at Plum Creek Plywood. You have the road. Tell you what, let's save here. Alright, so now we have the road. So now that we got the job here done at Kalispell, we're going to put the train back into a forward motion. We're going to get out of here. We're going to move to a 25% throttle immediately. Going to move it up to 37 because the game's being a little fussy. Once we get to 2%, I'm going to move to 50, and that will give us a nice burst of speed right there. Here we go. So we're departing Kalispell West Yard main siding. Our next destination is Plum Creek Plywood, number 61612, and we have to be there by 8:47. You're going to get to hear a lot of that horn right now, just to be warned. There's a lot of crossings on this part of the route, a lot more than on the pass itself, which seems natural if you ask me. And we can go up to 25 now, so I'm going to jump the speed back, or the throttle back to 50%. As I do that, I'm going to watch for some more crossings that we need to keep an eye on here, because we should be blowing our horn at all of them. Now, I believe there's a major road crossing coming up here that I don't really see a whistle board for, and I don't really get a huge warning for, so I'm trying to watch for that here. I think it's coming up now, so I'm going to go ahead and turn the bell on now. Good read. That's what you call a good read. There's a whistle board. This one we do get a warning for. This one's very close, so we don't have a lot of time. We're approaching a downhill gradient, so we're going to have to watch our speed as we come through these crossings. And this one's very close, so we're going to have to blow it right away. And that's that. So we're going to get around this corner. We can turn that blasted bell off for a while, and then we can go ahead and cruise. We're going to start applying brake applications now. That was not a good brake application. We're going to try that again in a second after I lose a little speed. What I want to do is I want to try to apply roughly a 20% brake application in this area, because that will give me the control I need so I can actually increase my speed using the throttle as necessary. So here we are at 23.3. We're going to fluctuate in here with a 12% throttle here and there. There's another whistle board. Actually, that's for the other direction. Never mind. Right now I'm maintaining 23, which is perfect. I will accept that. That's a good scenario for me. This will turn from a 0.8 to a 0.9 gradient, I believe, at some point. I don't think it crosses 1.0. We're not in mountain territory yet, obviously. But it could happen. You never know. Just I don't think it happens here. Here's a major crossing. We're not going to have to toot for this one because it's below us. So we can just proceed. Whistle board. saw that one was very far from the whistle board, so I tried to time that one out a little better. Oh, I want to take the brake off, not the throttle. The throttle should be on right now. So we're going to take the throttle back on. We're going to get to about 23, 24. That way when we hit another gradient later on, which I see coming up after this, I think it's a pair of bridges coming up here, we're going to be able to then just adjust for that gradient instead of trying to do too much. Our arrival time is currently expected at 8:05:08 for the stop. Of course, that assumes that we are pulling in to the stop point, probably at maximum speed the entire way. We're going to have to slow down, so that's not going to be correct. Turn that mess off. There we go. Mile 1224 as we go along here. And I expected the downhill to affect us a little bit yet, but it hasn't. Or already, but it hasn't yet. What I do know is that we do want to be careful about this downhill because we're going to be going downhill coming into Plum Creek Plywood. Plum Creek Plywood, the line that we're going to, has a 15-mile-per-hour speed limit. You're going to notice the HUD does not indicate it. And I don't see any mention of a junction indicator showing us or a warning of any sort on the track itself indicating the 15. I'm keeping an eye out for it, but I have not seen one yet. So yeah, we want to be careful coming in here. It is going to be a maximum speed of 15 miles per hour at this stage. So we're going to watch ourselves here. So we are starting to gain a little bit of speed now. It's a 0.5 gradient, so we don't need as severe a brake application to control it. But even so, we're going to have to slow down for the 15 up ahead anyway, so there's no problem with putting a little brake application now, just making sure you stay well under. That was a whistle board. Looks like we do still need a large brake application, actually. I wasn't expecting that. Was it a whistle board? I didn't see it. We'll start that again, because there is a crossing there. So I cut the brakes off at 20. We're going to slow it down further as we get into Plum Creek. I want to make sure we didn't lose too much on the downhill. We are going to have a natural uphill coming here. That'll aid us in slowing down to the appropriate speed. So I'm going to actually put a little more brakes on now. You have to put the brakes into a significant level here in order to get the brakes to actually operate. So we're going to get them down right now to make sure we get to 16. We're now at 15, which is where we should be anyway. So we are going to be junction to the left. That is the appropriate junction. As you see, the 15 is indeed marked there. So there's your proof. 15 is our limit. And this is at mile marker 1223, this particular plant. Now with Plum Creek Plywood, you don't want to get very cute. Let me explain what I mean by that. If you remember the Foulmouth Docks scenario at the very start of my channel, the very first one I posted, not the first one I played, but the first one I posted, you're going to notice that I found myself in a position where I dropped off all the cars for a siding, but then the game didn't like the drop off because at least one of the cars was listed as being outside of the siding. Because the game determined it was outside the siding, it basically decided, nope, we're not going to give you that task. Why? I have stuff in the siding. You accept it when one car is in the stop point. Like, you could accept it for this as well, but nope, didn't want to. It did not want to. So we have to make sure all these cars stay within the siding, or we're not going to be able to get credit for the uncoupling task. And if we do not get credit for the uncoupling task, we're going to have a serious problem. Now, since we're taking everything to Columbia Falls anyway, why are we not just backing into the siding with our existing train? I don't get it. Why do these have to be on the front? I don't know why they're being split this way. I really don't. Because we're going to be coming back and picking up these cars afterwards. There's no point splitting them up, I think. We are fully in the sign, so I'm just going to turn the bell off at this point. And we're going to start coming to a stop because we have a break. We have a junction up here, so I want to make sure everything stays in the siding. I can be off the yellow, but in this case I was not off the yellow. I probably wanted to be a little off the yellow, but we'll take the stop. So, just a note, do not uncouple until you get the check mark for the task. You can wait for the red bar and that'll be your sign you're safe to go, but I like to bring up the task and take a look just so you can see I did get the task clear. Once it clears, I'm going to be able to hit the uncouple. There it is. Uncouple from your center beam cars and collect those waiting inside siding 61611, which I'm going to do now. So I did uncouple. I'm just waiting for the train to get some speed on it again, which it doesn't seem to want to right now. Here we go. So the sidings are set for us to go straight ahead. They typically should be because you should expect through traffic. You want to keep that line clear at all times. You don't want someone just suddenly going along at 25 miles per hour, chugging into your siding and running into the buffer. I mean, that would be a little bit awkward for the crash investigators to have to explain that you didn't set the siding back. You'd probably get penalized, so you have to make sure they're set back. At least they do. We don't have to, but they do. There we are. And I'll do a full brake application now. Let's look behind me. Beautiful. Reverse, thank you. We're going to go backwards now. 10 is our limit in this siding, I believe. There's no sign for the 10, but that's the speed we're going with. There's the 10. And we're coupling the car, so we don't necessarily want to go 10. Let's just look back where we are here. You're going to notice this track is being missed. So the track on the left we're not going to be taking, which is good because there's no cars in there to couple to anyway. So that's perfectly fine. Let's just keep backing up. It looks like we're going left, but we're actually staying on the right, so don't worry about that. So I'm going to start slowing down now. I just went up to 9 for the sake of getting some speed into the siding, but I want to slow down quite a bit now because we're just getting close. I don't want to crash into the cars. I just want to couple to them. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep it between 3 and 4 for right now. I will apply some more brakes in a moment. There we go. Let's bring it down a little bit. We should couple in just a second. There we go. Forward. Now you can complete your train by coupling these to the first center beam cars. All right. I guess they are different cars. If we look at the train, you go away. If we look at the train, they are different cars. So I guess they wanted this type of car in front. Oh well. So we're going to make our way out of the siding. Again, maximum 10 miles per hour. I want to use every mile of that 10 miles per hour at this point because we need to get out of here expeditiously. As you can see, I let it go over just slightly there because we do have that allowance. We might have to, do we have a crossing up here? I don't think we do, so we should be okay to just get out of here and go. Checking our siding thing up here. We can brake now. We're going to get that last car passed in time. So we're going to get past. We're going to hit this siding back over. We're going to come back to reconnect to these guys. Thought I got a penalty for a second. I thought I slowed down pretty quickly. But nope, we're good. So we're going to try to apply a little bit of power here because we need to get these cars moving from the back somehow. Okay, a little more power now. I probably do not want to exceed 10 for this, but I want to at least get to 10. We're changing our angle just a little bit so we have a bit of a view of the coupling so we know when we want to slow down. Of course, typically if you're a driver, you're going to put your head out the window and look behind you, and you don't have mirrors on the back of the cars, unfortunately, to work with. Be nice if you did. Not like you can just plant a rear view camera on the last car. But typically you have a brake man telling you how fast to go anyway. So the brake man would be telling you to slow down on the radio. He probably told me to slow down a little bit more than I need to at that stage. I'm going to put a little bit more power back on for a moment. Not much, just a mile you noticed there. Okay, let's hit the brakes now. I need to come to a stop. That'll do. You are all set for Columbia Falls. Roger. So we're going to go ahead and register a save here because why not? Security. With that save completed, let's go ahead and move our engine forward again. I'm going to put a 25% application on there. I'm going to get our train moving. It's going to be at the heaviest it's going to be for this scenario. So I'm going to get it moving, and then I'm going to try to punch the train up to a 37 level 3 throttle. Then we're going to go ahead and punch it up even further to a 50% throttle. That should get us some of the speed we need. So I'm going to punch to 37 now. I'm trying to avoid drive quality penalties, which is why I'm doing it this way. Sometimes if you try to apply too much throttle, you get a penalty for drive quality. And I timed that correctly. We're going to get a good speed burst now. We do not need to go beyond 50% throttle to get where we want to be at 15. We're going to pop it back now to have a more measured increase from the level 3 throttle. Then we're going to pop back to a level 2 and eventually a level 1, possibly even idling if we find we're on a gradient. But we're going to be on in 25 after we get out of the siding again. So once we hit the 25, we can just go ahead and speed back up to 25. That's why I'm trying to do a more measured increase. That way I don't have to control my speed too much until we hit the 25. And then I can go to 25. So we're still leaving the siding back here, but we're almost out. There's the 25. We can go. We're good to go. So out of curiosity, I brought up a map looking at the railroad for the area. I brought up the Open Railways map, which I like to reference for things. I found out that the Kalispell line does actually end. The line did continue at one point, but that line has since been lifted. So the line does actually end at Kalispell. There is no continuation beyond Kalispell. There is a small local line that comes off what is apparently... I take that back as I blow for the crossing because I forgot to do that. But in any case, the Open Railway map tells you what the different mile markers are along the path. For example, when we get to mile marker 1218, we're going to be going alongside, we're going to be going alongside Glacier Park International Airport at that point. So we want to watch for mile marker 1218 if we've not already passed it. The airport should be off to the left at that point, coming towards us. And by mile marker 1217, we're actually at the front end of the airport, or it might be the back end. There is another whistle. That's the other side whistle board, never mind. But here's the whistle board we want. So this one matters to us. You know, I didn't see the road yet, so let's just try that again, shall we? major road and it's deserted. It is deserted. And until you get past the crossing, then you see cars insta-popping in the map. Here comes one right now. Maybe. Pop. And we're past the spawn point now, so everything's going to look normal at this point. So that was a major highway. And we have another whistle board. For those wondering, the roadway that is going alongside us now, by the way, that is the US 2, US Highway 2. So that crossed us right around the 12:22 mile marker. We're losing speed. Let's put a little speed back on here. Here's another whistle board, so we're going to keep the bell going. There's 12:21 mile marker. There's a building off to our left here somewhere, or our right somewhere right now. That building is something, well, actually it might be a park. Knife River is the name I have on the Open Railway map for that area. Knife River. I do see some buildings here, so not much of a park. Some kind of business area called Knife River. Now we are coming to an uphill gradient, so I'm just going to make sure I don't speed right now, and I should be fine. Now before I get too occupied with what's going on in front of me, let's take a look at the map and just look at our entry point to LaSalle, Maine. LaSalle, Maine is our next task. And if we go up to... Oh. We're not in the, we're going in the siding. Let's not go in the siding, shall we? There, now we're good. The ATG is being a little sneaky with us here. They want to force us to look for the siding we need, the path we want to take. Otherwise, we'd be going 15 into a siding and we would not get our task. So yeah, they being a little sneaky with us here. Did I see a crossing alert? I missed it. Oh, there it is coming up. That's another crossing alert coming up. So we're good here. We're currently going 24.6 miles per hour. We're coming up on 9 o'clock on the US 2 as we travel along the Kalispell Sub, heading towards the Marias Pass. I didn't even see this. Did it? Didn't see the whistle board for that one. I must have missed it. just I go turn the... Oh, that's for the other side anyway. That's good. That is another whistle board. Now, I believe, I did miss the mile marker back there, but I believe if that was mile marker 1219, which I want to confirm very quickly. No, there was no mile marker. Okay, never mind. It was not what I thought it was. What was that? That was a mile marker. 1219. Okay, so maybe that was the one I thought it was. 1219 is near Birch Grove Road, and 1219 also means... actually, this might be Birch Grove Road coming up here, because 1219 is in front of Birch Grove Road. So there you go. Oh, maybe not. No. I guess some mile markers might not be accurate here, because according to the Open Railways map, Birch Grove Road comes right after mile marker 1219. And that was 1219 up there. So that brings the question of whether the airport is actually on here or not. If we pop over to... If we take a look from the top, it should be over on the left, starting on the left. Of course, the airport might also be a recent addition as well, for all we know. So it may not be fully over there. Oh, I'm losing speed. Wow, let's get some speed back before we fail the mission here. We have to be there by 9:09, but now we're only going to be planned for 9:08. Too busy trying to show you the sights. Had a little bit of an uphill gradient through me. I didn't even plan for it. Whoopsie. And I was so busy trying to get my speed back, I didn't blow the whistle for that either. So like I said, if the airport is in here, it will be in this general area right over here. The airport, again, could be a new addition, but it would be over in this area somewhere. All I see is a junkyard. The airport would be somewhere in this area, and I don't see an airport over here at all. So, yeah, I don't think we actually have the airport in this route, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. But that rough area that I was in is where the Glacier Park International Airport is located. It looks like it has two runways, a long one and a short one. They're showing very prominently on the map here, but we're just not seeing them. Shortly after that point, the US-2 is supposed to veer off as well, which makes me wonder maybe the mile markers on the map aren't accurate too. That's possible as well. Whistle board. And there's 1218, so the airport will be coming toward us at this point. And about 1 mile after the airport will be coming towards us, the airport runway would end and the US Highway 2 will take a due north approach. Right now it's traveling in a slightly north-northeasterly direction with us, but it should be taking a due north stance at one point, and that's the point where it just continues north. It continues until it actually ends. US Highway 2 ends at a turnoff that also becomes US Highway 2, and we're going to cross that highway at about the 1213 mile marker as we get to Columbia Falls. So that's what the status of US Highway 2 is going to be as far as our DLC is concerned. US Highway 2 does continue in some aspect with the area as well, crossing part of the main line. But it doesn't stay with it very long as far as I can tell. I haven't actually explored all the way to Shelby yet to see if it shows up again. Besides, with the fact that it goes through, that we go through a mountain area, I can't see the highway staying up there. But there are roads that go through there, so maybe it does rejoin. We do see a road next to the track at one point. Let's turn that off. So we are targeting LaSalle, Maine right now, just like we're supposed to. And the reason I'm a little worried the mile markers might not have been accurate is that LaSalle is shown being next to the airport, and we are now passing what is listing as mile marker 1217 right now. LaSalle is close, so the airport should be, but 1217 is shown to be after LaSalle on the Open Railway map. So I'm going to assume there's a little bit of an inaccuracy with the mile marker placement on this route. That's the best guess I have for this. In any case, let's find our way through LaSalle, Maine right now. It is a 25. Since we got off the junction, and I didn't blow the whistle, but we did get off the junction, so we are okay for LaSalle right now. So right before LaSalle, I believe that was Pioneer Road that we crossed. And as I know it again, the runways for the airport should be right off to our left. Do we see runways for the airport right off to our left? Yes, we do. That's the airport. There you go. This is the runway. Doesn't look like a runway, but it's a runway. This is the airport. There we go. And back into our train. So now that we know the airport is there and the mile markers are wrong, or at least not 100% accurate because they don't line up with the roads according to my Open Railway map, we can go ahead and assume that US Highway 2 is actually, and there's a little bit of a gap now, so it is indeed turning off to the left, as I expected. It is going to take a bit of a northerly direction at this point, so it's going to head off in that direction. We're going to see buildings on this side next to us now. So US 2, as I said, it heads up here. It's going to continue to an intersection ending up here. We're not going to be able to follow it all the way along right now, but it's just going to keep going. It's eventually going to end at an intersection. It's going to turn, and it's going to rejoin us going under us a few miles from now. Meanwhile, we're now at 23.6 miles per hour. Not 26, that'd be speeding. It is now 9:08. We have passed through our main third checkpoint. We have one checkpoint left, and that is our stop point at Columbia Falls. It is, as you see, 3.49 miles away. And I'm going to go ahead and cut off my throttle for a moment. We have a whistle board. Let's go ahead and monitor our speed as we go through this crossing. But we are going on uphill segments, so we should be okay. Here is 12:16 mile marker. That was not a long enough horn, but we'll act like it is. What is that? Oh, that's a work truck of some sort. So you have a bit of a diagonal road there. I believe that was Jellison Lane. And as you notice, there's a road going along next to us now. That is Jellison Road. So Jellison Lane, Jellison Road. There you go. I'm going to put a little bit of throttle back on. We're going to check our destination to make sure everything is okay at our destination as we go up there. We're going to find we're stopping at the High Line siding. which is this one. We need to make sure we're going into that siding. We are not. We are now. And we should not have a problem going beyond it, but just in case we do, I'm going to do that. And we should be clear at this point. The track will split up, and we're going to go into the correct sidings. There you go. As we go along in this segment, and that actually might be the spot, there's going to be a spot where Dunwoody Lane begins, and then takes a quick left to go in a path slightly veering away from the track. That might have been meant to be Dunwoody Lane right there. Not 100% sure on that. We're going to continue alongside Jellison Road for a little while. The next crossing should be Brunner Road. Our ETA is looking really good for our Columbia Falls drop, by the way. So the only concern I have is that we might have to lower to a 15 for the yard. I'm going to have to, if there's no indication on the HUD, I'm going to have to do that on my own just in case. So we'll keep an eye on that as we get up there. But based on the current time, we have lots of time to slow down for that if we need to. Let's cut our speed back down. There's the whistle board, mile marker 12:15. This should be Brunner Road. Caught myself almost speeding there. And I am about to speed. Let's make sure we don't. I'm not sure where that sudden speed burst came from. We were suddenly on a downhill gradient there and I missed it. But we're now on a 0.5% uphill gradient anyway, and it looks like that uphill gradient is going to continue. So that should be the last time we have a real speed burst like that. Let's just get ourselves back up to 25. We're going to work on that. Now, there's a series of roads that connect to Brunner Road, the same square-shaped formation that I talked about earlier for where I live. And we're going to continue along Jellison Road for a bit longer. We're going to have another crossing coming up in about a mile or so, I think. The map shows it to be right before mile marker 12:14, which the way it's designed on the map is a mile and a half away from the siding we're stopping in. That's indeed what I'm showing here, a mile and a half, 1.8 miles actually right now to our stop. So this is exactly what I'm finding. So that means I'm convinced that the road coming up is going to be the South Hilltop Road. South Hilltop Road. This is the whistle board for that road right now, so I'll turn my bell back on. I'm going to lower my throttle again because I'm getting close to 25 again, but there are no surprise downhill segments right now, so I should not have any speeding issues coming up. This is actually looking like a very strong uphill gradient coming up here. We're at a zero gradient right now, but that is going to go up. You can see the cliff ahead is quite steep as we join the Marias Pass proper. So you can see that curve there, the way it comes off the road and just suddenly curves off. That's your sign that you're passing South Hilltop Road. South Hilltop Road actually has another road connection over here. If you peer over here, another road will eventually leave that road right there. It's just a bit of a dirt road right there. I keep doing that. That dirt road is just a road that ends. I don't have a name for that road. It's just a dirt road that ends over there. Why am I slowing down so fast? That is not what I want to do. Took off a little too much throttle there. Let's pop it back up. 1.4 gradient. Yeah, we're going to increase that throttle heavily right now. We have to. That's the whistle board coming from the other direction. That's a heck of a downhill leaving Mariah's Pass, that's for sure. By the way, Jellison Road ends up here. This is actually the end of Jellison Road coming up. So we're going to be taking a curve around past that. The next crossing will be Talbot Road, and we're going to be much closer to our destination at that point because we're going to be in Columbia Falls proper when we cross Talbot Road. We're now on a 1.0 gradient. I'm going to try to watch my throttle as I get up to my speed. I believe Talbot Road is the only road we actually cross as we come in the sidings. The major road after that I'll talk about if we see it. But Talbot Road I know for sure we're going to cross. You can see the siding ahead. So yeah, Talbot Road is the only road we should cross, if any. And I'm not even 100% sure we're going to cross that one, but it is part of the turn into the city. And we still do not join the Mariah's Pass proper until we cross another major street, because there's a bit of a Y area there. It sort of looks like a Y. It's kind of a turnaround area, but we're not actually going to reach that turnaround area. You see it's up here. We're stopping well before that. So we're not going to have a... We're not going to be continuing into Mariah's Pass proper. We're staying on this sub completely for this journey. I'm going to pump the throttle back now. I'm going to go ahead and lower my speed just in case we have a 15 ahead. I don't know 100% if we do. This is Talbot Road, I believe. We're down to 15 just so we're good for the siding if we need to. And if we have to pump it up, we'll pump it up. I just have to stop anytime by 9:20 and I should be good to go. I was right, the limit is 15 in the siding, so that was a good call on my part. I'm going to go ahead and put the power back up so we can pull into the siding proper. Hopefully we have time to get the entire train in the siding. But even if we don't, right now, as long as we come to a stop, we finish the scenario and we should be on time. All we have to do is come to a stop. So I'm going to try to get the whole train in. We may not be able to, but we're going to try to. I think we're going to be able to. So Talbot Road was where it was, and obviously we're pulling into the siding here. The road to our right is Veteran Drive, and somewhere to our left is Diane Road as well. Somewhere over there with a curve that veers it away from us at some point. We're not going to come near it, but the major road coming up, if we were to look far and far in the distance, the major road coming up there somewhere is 9th Street, I believe. You can see a red signal on the High Line up there as well. That's 9th Street right there, actually. That's where the cars are crossing. That's a major road in the Columbia Falls area. So, there you go. We are fully in the siding. I'm going to come to a stop at this point. Turn the bell off. We're going to turn the headlights off so we're ready to get out of this train. Were they even working? Oh, now they're on. Well, they're off now. We're going to stop there, and that's going to be the end of our journey. Let's look at the train as we finish. And you can see the nice neighborhood back there as well. We are definitely in the city when you see a neighborhood like this. And it looks like there might be one off to the other side as well that just doesn't show fully on the map. So yeah, we are in the Columbia Falls siding. We are done our scenario. We should be successful. We should have our full score. Good work. You have a scheduled wait here before proceeding onwards to Whitefish, so you can take a break. And just so you know, if we were proceeding to Whitefish, we would be taking a line that would veer left, and that's how you get to Whitefish. We already saw the area to the right. If we were to go straight along the line, that's where we did the other scenario and then worked back towards Whitefish. So we saw that on another scenario with the ES44AC. We have technically seen this whole area except for a little connecting section now. In any case, we're done. So I will see you next time. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll show you the score, actually. Let's go to the score. And there it is, 1,000 points. That's how you do the scenario properly, ladies and gentlemen. We'll ignore the fact that I connected a save in there because I did something stupid. But yeah, that's how you do the scenario properly. And with that said, there's only one more scenario to do, and I'm not going to go show you where it is right now, but we know what it is. It is the Blackfoot or bust. Blackfoot, of course, is along the route, so that is the scenario we're going to be doing next time. Final scenario on the main part of the route, and then I'm going to take a break from Mariah's Pass, but we are going to come back. We are going to do other scenarios here. Don't worry, I'm not done here. We are going to come back, and we are going to be doing other things here as well. I actually have another workshop series in mind for this route. I want to do that one possibly in the spring, because I do have some other content that has to be published through February. So I want to do that Mariah's Pass workshop set in the spring, and I'm going to see if I can visit another train at that point as well. By that point, all the trains that I'm going to be showing in the workshop set should be published again at that point for worldwide use, or so I hope at least. So once that is done, I can then show you those scenarios. You can actually play them yourself and try and do better than me as well. That's kind of the idea. I want to see if you guys want to try and beat me on some of these scenarios. In any case, I'll see you next time. Blackfoot or bust should be next time. Final one for the main pack. I'll see you for that. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, donate on Patreon if you wish. Not required, definitely appreciated. And you can also join the Discord server, and you can also have a wonderful day, evening, or night, whatever it is for your part of the world, as we are going into the new year as well. So if you missed the next video, have a safe and happy new year, and I will see you in 2022, but we do have one more video at least coming before then. So stay tuned for that, and we'll go into the new year with that. See you then. I'm Cyclone. Bye-bye.